You're going to want to stick around for the whole video. I start to get extremely practical on the applications about 12 minutes in. How do you go about trying to maintain your true self whilst living in a capitalist world? For example, I stress daily about making enough money to live comfortably, but I don't want to lose myself in a materialistic world and end up working hard every day of my life just to earn money, but throwing away all my time in the process. I can't seem to find a good balance. I just don't know how. I don't expect a perfect answer. Perhaps just advice if you have any. Thank you. I got you, bro. Hello, it's the Soul Dr. Rain Cordillo, under the canopy of the Most High. Here today, guided by the light that pervades throughout all of life. As you can see by the title of this video, we're going to be going through how to forego society. No longer needing to be somebody within these hierarchies that are predicated upon the economic flow of death, rape, murder, and drug trafficking. As we all know, these are the number one businesses that allow our economy to continue flowing in the manner that it does. And all of our busybody work, labor forces to continue running these system and societies full of cookie cutter houses and electricity and central air to continue to keep running, when in reality we should be living in the Himalayas on mountainside, because inside the mountain there's no mosquitoes, everything's cool and cold, and we can be outside when we want and inside of a sheltered area just as we used to live underground because it was a cooler place. But instead that's been taken over by tunneled different places to be able to continue their guise and disguise of sex trafficking and drug trafficking. You know, all the resources being expended and pooled towards the areas of control. If you still submit to this societal mold, I can't blame you. I can't blame you for having a job. I can't sit here and say that you're a bad person, because in reality, the only thing that allows divinity to pervade throughout all of everything is to understand that compassion supersedes what man ever thought his temporary control was. So yes, if you're new to this channel, hello. We do not flinch in the face of distortion. Rape, murder, death, it occurs every day. And we are going to understand how we can embody divinity in the midst of a society that predicates itself upon those things, when most people don't even realize that that's the place that they claim. So I've got about like 8 key points or, precepts here. And I really think this is going to be helpful for the individual who no longer wants to work a job for a system that they know is just crumbling down. Submit to the hierarchy of a fellow man where they're trying to be seen in that lame disguise of pride. This might be more difficult for the individual who still wants to be seen by women, who still is clinging on to the idea of being, suitable for a partner in a society full of those status quo hierarchies. Because truthfully, it's about patience at this time. You have to understand that, first of all, zero patience, because there's nothing to be patient with when you realize that divinity is in front of you at every moment and you're pervading through it. And patience is actually just a delayed idea that a reward is not already here at this moment and you're not relishing in it. But by that metric, the divine feminine is going to feel more safe around those already relishing in the current moment's divinity, actually creating the homestead spaces where we can live off of the land naturally and not need to be in this egoic male control society. So it's like you really have to just trust that already automatically you're going to get every innocent dream that was ever put to you. In even as a child, we have these innocent pursuits, and they're all going to come true as long as you continue to trust in what's actually unfolding here. And if you're this far in the video, I feel like you know what I'm talking about in regards to the return of the hand of the Father, the fall of all these systems. I mean, we just saw a death of Charlie Kirk recently. And that just goes to show the political war machines are going to continue to reveal themselves as what they are. This left and right rhetoric is only going to continue to exhaust itself, and people are going to continue dying, even though it's already the status quo to see kids dying all over the world. So to understand that every day that you work as a busy-bodied individual for that system, once again, for these cookie cutter houses where these people are, believing that they need that material safety, it's all a disguise, and it's all run on the lies of vampirism. That's what we can see in front of us today. You're paying for children to die in Gaza. All our money goes to Israel as Americans. We know this. So we're not going to act like this is anything new. And I'm going to teach you today, hopefully, not how to not be led astray in the midst of these societies and all these things. So the core of it is that you're no longer living. Straight up. You've given every part of yourself up to the Most High. Like understanding and resting comfortably in the fact that, first of all, the discomfort that you're choosing to pervade through in life and going through these difficulties are only the greater rewards you're going to see. But resting, like relaxing in that divinity, in that, okay, I'm actually taken care of by the hand of the Father. I fight for truth so hardly in my own life and near those around me that there's nothing else that it can be for me but being taken care of by that very divinity that birthed me. And relinquishing self-importance is one of the only ways that we can actually open up this channel, realizing that we're not who we thought we were. We don't have to identify with this story of being this particular individual. We can go through the seasons where there is no external affirmation as to if we're going to reap some sort of material reward because of this, as to even if our spirit is going to be able to feel okay within this, because every prophet struggled with, Father, strike me down. Like, this world is a lot of weight to bear. One of the reasons that it keeps going in the loops that it does is because everyone's distracting themselves from that very suicidal tendency. It lies within every entity and individual. And until we begin to actually face these aspects in full spectrum of self, we'll continue running shadow shows in hell because we're covering up things and neglecting everything else. So no wonder those spirits want to eat at us, because when you neglect something, it will do its best to get your attention once again. And you need to give this full spectrum of life attention in general. That's the whole reason we are led to think that we need to get a job and be somebody in this society and get this money. It's terrible. So release is letting go. It's trusting the flow. I have to share a personal testimony. I was working this job for $20 an hour where I was slanging sandwiches, right? And I blew up on Instagram talking about holistic health. This is the lifestyle I lead. I'm literally a fruitarian. Genesis 1:19 at the moment. I'll have salmon every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? But understanding that I wasn't going to continue working where I knew my energy was feeding people poison, like straight up. Like, that's just what it was. Everyone that was coming in there was making the decision unconsciously. I literally felt my body and energy being used for the thing that I didn't want it to be used for, the polar opposite. And what it's actually being used for pervades beyond polarity. So allow me to correct my speech when I say that. There's no extremes. Like, this is totally beyond the notions of right and wrong, because compassion pervades through everything. So it's not like I have any condemnation for the person who worked that job their entire life. I can treat them as my brother, because forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. But when you know what you do, you can't help but choose not to do it. It does not sit right with the weight of the soul, because that's not what you were here to do. You weren't here to continue running these loops. You were here to break them down and cut them from the root. So to share a personal testimony, I quit that job within 3 days because I could already tell it was a haze. It was a freaking lie. It was not exactly what I needed my spirit to be burning toward in that time. I don't work during the day and then kindle to my fire at night. I burn on the street, I swear to you. So I quit the job and I started hitting up people who I had met on Instagram throughout that past year. Because when you I'll get to this in a minute, when you put yourself out there, you actually will be surprised as to the resource reciprocity you may gain simply by being an individual who garners a skill or holds space, straight up. So this is trusting that flow, relinquishing the fear of death, letting go of this finite temporary identity, the true self that's being asked about. Ooh, I have to record an intro for this video. Okay, cool. The true self that's being asked about here is not a fixed identity. When you want to live for your true self authentically as the Most High's child, this is not something that you're going to be able to see and put a compartmentalized understanding on. You need to let go of the egoic entity that wants to understand exactly how divinity is unfolding in front of it, because it never will. It's only pride that wants you to hold on to these things, and a lot of it is our nervous system's sensitivity to its negative emotions is directly negated by our attractiveness to a mate. To see if we can perpetuate life, like this is the animal body. That's that sloppiness that leads us to go towards the next guiding light we see, like little moths, like little leeches. Out of here. So right when I took that leap, I hit up a couple people to see if I could go stay with them for a temporary amount of time. Man, this lovely yoga teacher who I had been reaching out to back and forth, I didn't even know she taught yoga like that. Excuse me. Ooh. She sent me $100 for a plane ticket, said, come through, I got a space for you in the living room. I stayed with her for a month and did yoga every single day. I had the opportunity to learn and teach it for 3 to 6 hours a day. It was a blessing. I actually got the opportunity for my nervous system to recalibrate, to rest comfortably. It was divinity unfolding because I trusted and took the leap. The guru was only pleased with the devotee who gives himself up entirely. Wherever he goes, he is taken care of. The cross currents of ego are no longer in the way, and the direct current and flow of the Almighty can pierce through everything that vessel is experiencing. Amen. So let go of the pride that thinks you need to be this big man. Once again, the sensitivity of the nervous system is negated. The sensitivity of negative emotion is negated by our attractiveness to a mate. But you got to realize, attractiveness to a mate goes way beyond this hierarchical primate level of things. You wouldn't even want a girl that could only see to that extent of that level of status, when in reality the true status is that of the spirit, because my reward in heaven pervades much beyond anything that's temporarily arising and dying in this life. It's just temporary burn of time that everybody's so afraid of death and is fixated on being this individual within it. It's absolutely insane. Your life actually begins to have the ability to thrive when you no longer hold on to the need and cling to survive. Don't worry. The deeper I get into this video, the more practical things are going to go. You have to understand that comfort is a delusion. Physical, mental, relational, environmental comforts, they're all tests because they burn in temporary time. So if you're consistently holding on to what is familiar, you'll never leave room and space for what is actually new, which is the evolution of God. Like straight up, if God is everything, then there is no technical evolution, but we're not speaking from linear time here. We're speaking from never before seen divinity unfolding from zero, straight up. It's a blessing. This is not an XY axis linear plane. Why do you think Z was not on the XY axis? Because zero comes up to devour everything. Choosing discomfort as initiation within this life, actually freaking zeroing out and giving yourself up to the hand of the Father, is on some Marana Maharshi level. I'm going to go in the woods and let all these animals and bugs, I'm going to let all these bugs eat me up because I'm indifferent to the functions of this body. I'm going to fast for this long, but just to show my true devotion to the Creator. Because the Creator actually had to go through that state where it was going through resistance to be able to create anything. And when you're incarnated in a leech-like temporary body, you have to understand relinquishing all of these aspects of mind is the only thing that actually empties you enough to leave room for the divine. And relinquishing the aspects of mind that you're familiar with is always going to be choosing discomfort as an initiation of your spirit. Whether that be through relations with individuals, whether that be through living in a tent if you need to. Straight up. And on that note, start putting yourself out there. This is where we start to get into the practical applications of how you can start to actually leave this society. Start putting yourself out there and express authentically. There are genuine people in your niche. I can promise you that. You might just be the you might just be the authentic light that they're looking for to see like, oh wow, there actually are other people that feel and think this way and we can like trust one another because there's nothing else to do. There's people creating eco villages, micro-steading, all over, homesteads all over the US and the world right now that you can go reach out to and be of service. You will not get anything without being of service. You have to understand that you are only a gift to this world. You're not trying to take or receive anything from it. You receive automatically when you realize that you are the gift and there's nothing else for you to do but give of yourself entirely. Putting yourself out there is exactly what I began to do on social media, dude. I just started to speak. And then so many opportunities have presented themselves for me. Also, if you've never heard of this, WWOOFFING, or maybe it's one F, woofing, $40 for a membership. Farms all across the US for different purposes will house you and feed you for merely 3 to 5 hours of work a day. You can go do whatever you want outside of that time. You can go get another job if you want, if you're in grind mode or whatever your temporary body believes that it needs to do. Sincerely, because I'm not here to tell you what to do, just tell you the information that's coming through the hand of the Father. And that hand of the Father just may need you at a certain place at a certain time that's working one of these jobs in the status quo mammon hell. Because I was there too. I've worked jobs. I've had like 7 since 14. My resume's pretty banging for my age. I won't lie. And you got to understand that through the midst of all this, joy is your currency. What is going to enrich your spirit? Because these places that give you housing and food for farm work, there's no money involved there. They had to do what they had to do to get their land and do what they had to do on it, but that's only because we were in a fallen state of man that's actively being relinquished by your hand, brother. Learn practical skills and human needs, practical necessities of things, cooking. I've wanted to be a therapist since I was a little boy. Automatically holding space for other individuals to show them that they're not crazy is something that leads me to have the abilities for people to want me. They want my presence. What do you have that shows that? Because everybody's got their thing. Something different we all bring. Don't you let that notion clip your wings. You got it. You got it. We're on fire and we blaze in extraordinary ways. 365 days, we got it. If you can dream it, if you can see it, if you can be it and believe it, you can fulfill it. Because I am, you are, and we are exceptional. Exceptional as the individual nature that's brought down into this world, and it's the most beautiful thing unfolding through divinity. And accepting that is the only way you'll be able to exist harmoniously. So find what your body automatically brings that's able to bring harmony. And if you don't know any practical skills, learn them. There's so many apprentice opportunities everywhere across the US. The workforce needs people right now. They're desperate for it. So what does that mean? You can go into a trade introductory for free. And you can learn this practical skill of carpentry. You can learn how to literally build something, dude. How to help people create through their hands. Practical things as a man. As a woman, this is honestly easier. Because, let's not get it twisted. If you can do a simple few things, your intrinsic value is already a blessing. You're wanted around because you're a stabilizing frequency. This is the fall of man here. We need to do a little bit more things to get to that state because the ego is so freaking frustratingly powerful. But that exact power of the ego is the mind that's going to be fortified for final freedom under the divine. So it's perfectly paradoxical to understand that, yes, putting your body through these tests is exactly what you might need to do. There's so many people willing to teach you how to do drywall, how to do many just simple things. Farming is so necessity. Being able to learn agriculture and grow things. And it's one of the easiest things you can do. Find a landscaping crew to go work with a little while if you're still in that belief that you need a job at the moment. You will pick up practical skills that will help you forever. Because people need this. People want this. People want your reciprocity when you're a genuine, authentic being who actually has practical applicative ability. And there's people willing to teach. You must be of service to receive any sort of resources. Release all dependency. It's ironic that my next point is release all dependency when I'm telling you to become dependent on some sort of trade entity. No, don't become dependent on these things. When you release all dependency, your body automatically gains the ability to be of service to the world because your vicarious dependency on people, places, and things is the exact thing that's stopping you from being emptied enough to have the ability to be the conduit of God building, Master Builder 22 in this life. Emmett the Master Builder from the Lego movie. This is literally just seeing beyond the intricacies of society. We've been glued by the craggle and we are here to set it free. Minimal lifestyle is how you are going to see this. Foregoing all the comfort, foregoing all the things that you're holding on to out of commodity. Because once again, it's actually driven by a system run on death, rape, war, murder, all these things. Relinquishing. God needed only itself to create everything. So if you want to show devotion to the state of that creator, that's why Jesus fasted. That's why Buddha didn't eat for a year. That's why all these people and all these spiritual ashrams, places, written history, ever devoted themselves to divinity in such a way that was, there's words that I'm looking for to be able to describe it, but it's very simple when you think of it from the lens of polarity. Let's imagine that Satan is the thing that runs the material world. Fasting automatically empties you enough, and you're giving you're suffering. If Satan is the spirit of suffering, you're choosing to suffer by that metric, gaining reward, looking in the face of what thought it was powerful, some satanic entity, and seeing, oh wow, you're just another neglected expression of divinity. And when I could show that I pervaded through you as I, the singularity that pervades throughout all of everything, the Father's hand to return once again to smack down its children that were on wild shit and remind us that we needed to repent. Yes, minimal lifestyle is the only way to go about these things. It's not time for indulgence, brother. And some may say they're already at the spiritual place to be able to indulge because they've already relinquished all those things that need to, get to that lack of egoic understanding and finally have the will of the Father run through. I'm not gonna lie, that's not how it works. This is work. Yeah, and the work is to not work, but by that metric, you will still be experiencing resistance in this physical body. You're supposed to. You're supposed to want to. Not even gonna lie, and there's no want or need as a temporary entity to accomplish some sort of thing in linear time, but that's not it. It's just devotion to divine, bro. It's very simple. If you're wanting to empty the mind to be fit and fortified, the same thing occurs with the physical body in how you eat and how you present yourself with everything and what you decide to abide in. Indulgence, right? Continue to get so deeply plunged into that sensation that's keeping people toiling around these cyclical loops around the nation, or show that you were here to burn it. You're here to be beyond it because you already are and always were. And if you're truly the return of the hand of the Father, there's not even a thought in your mind that separates you from that. It's beautiful. And when you see those that are seemingly separative, your spirit already knows. If you need to milk the gig grind at this moment, that's cool. I did it for the longest time. If the only way to have a safe space is for you to milk that gig grind to go get temporary jobs until you are able to create and grow those non-wage systems for yourself, I commend you, brother. Do your thing. Especially if you're a man with a family. This may seem so much harder for somebody who's not a 19-year-old artist doing what they want with life, but at the same time, it's not. I know somebody who gave up everything and went and took their kid to that woofing I just told y'all about earlier. And I asked the kid who's in school now, I met him and I was like, did you prefer homeschooling on the farm or being in school now? And he's like, this artificial society is insane. I'd much rather be outside all day. You can get your family to that place. There's people providing these resources and opportunities. Don't act like it isn't the case. And if they aren't, make them, dude. An acre of land is not that expensive. Bring people together who want this same thing in microstead. Build and grow sustainable. And if you need to start selling what you grow in order to just keep the reciprocity to get more people to come and understand that we're beyond this money system, then that might just be paradoxically what it has to be for the moment. Grow non-wage systems and milk the gig grind if you have to. And in the middle of milking that gig grind and work grind, you can learn so much about the intricacies of what's going on in real life. And you can network with those who you know are on the exact same type of time, because God will lead you to exactly where you're supposed to be. It's about trusting in divinity. I'm just here because this might just be a conduit to show you that there was more options than what you thought that there was. And that might just be the very open door that allows you to see everything to start to unfolding perfectly and harmoniously, because it already is. Artistic expression will get you a lot more than you think. I know street performers making $2,000 a weekend just by rapping. I've done it myself. My good friend David's on the clarinet. He's a world-class clarinetist. I sat there and danced next to him while he played some concertos, and we made $100 an hour that night on the streets of Austin. America is full of carnival towns, and there's other places in the world that have it too. There's people that go there to get drunk and give money. Straight up. You need resource reciprocity? Just go give from the heart and you will receive it. That's what this real grid work is. I know street performers doing real grid work. I'm one of them. Mentoring. If you have a skill and ability, go put yourself out there physically and digitally. People need these things. Communities want your art. These eco villages, they want your healing. They want your services. You are light. You have the ability to bring something, I promise you. Because God's already doing it through you because you're here watching this now. Offer your services everywhere. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Go to every social media platform. Go to the Reddit group that's about this one specific niche thing. Go to the Facebook group that meets up in your area for local events. Go talk to everybody. Go to the farmer's market and sell your product. Go to the farmer's market and go street perform. Go to the farmer's market and advertise who you are. Go hand out business cards at the farmer's market. Go hand out personal cards just for who you think you are and what you're bringing to the world. There's so much that you can do to just put yourself out there, and all it takes is actually planting those seeds in order for them to start growing back to you. So this whole idea is alternative living. Once again, eco villages, woofing, work exchange. I'm about to go live the van life because street performing gives me enough resources to be able to travel the US and meet enough Spartans and warriors and soldiers that keeps coming on this path that I know I need to be traveling right now. I know I need to be there and here because that's where the Lord is telling me I need to be. This is where I gotta be. That's what's happening, to the point where there's no need because the Lord has already taken care of me in this thriving state. Friends and like-minded individuals, don't be afraid to be the initiator. To say, hey, we're done, let's go. Let's go, come on. Because when shit really starts hitting the fan in this country and martial law gets called because it's already seeming to get to that time, you want the right people around you, and the only way you're going to find that is by following the divine, brother. Skill and nomadism. If you have a skill that's going to carry you from left to right, AYZ, musicians are able to do this so easily, but you can do this with anything. Open the expansive imaginations of your mind. I'm not here to give you a list of all these temporary careers. It's all the same shit. Hostels, retreat centers. There's people who are willing to, for your work, give you housing and food. Just straight up. That's what it is. And you might have to work for something that's complete opposite of what your soul wants to at that moment to get whatever you think is needed at the moment. I did it for so long. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't condemn yourself for needing a part-time job. Try your best to make it one where you can do grid work in the midst of it. Shout out to Divine Messenger, who inspired me to go be a teacher at like an after school program kind of thing. And they have it in the summer times too. I unfortunately got fired from that establishment for reasons I won't get into. Idiotic ones that have to involve race and stupid things among the other aspects. It's difficult being the only white dude in your area sometimes. But I'm sure it's the same for the polar opposite and any identification with temporary color, so who cares? Skill swapping is real. Retreat centers. There's people who run retreat centers who want you there to give whatever you have to give because you're willing to work. There's people living in the woods, military whistleblowers who are off the grid, living in a camping space outside in the outskirts of these big cities. The only reason you see people homeless on the street is because they're afraid of the dark. When you are trusting God that you're taken care of, you'll sleep anywhere. It's fair, it's fine, and it's divine. Tent life, van life, anything. Personality is business, dude. That's when people don't understand that this whole shit is run by attention captivation. What can you do to captivate attention in the likelihood of direction that you're attempting to unfold? That God is unfolding for you. That divinity is bringing you to at every intricate moment that you can see in your life. Attention captivation is the only thing that led me to be here thriving and knowing that everything is divine. Because that attention captivation is what keeps people running away from their internal pain inside and needing another external distraction that's set up by the very man who's run by death, war, and rape. I'm going to come back to this video in about a year from now to show more of where I'm at. I hope this answered your question. I know it did. And whoever sees this will likely be helpful for them. I'm going to share it the best that I can. So amen. Have a blessed rest of your day, and that's all I have to say. Hallelujah.